Okay, now that we have our Expo app, you can see that the web version of React isn't super different than the iOS or Android version of React outside of the custom components in React Native and Expo. But right now we have a single component called app and everything is in that app. This just isn't sustainable moving forward if we have all of our stuff in one single file. And so we want to start organizing our files right now so that it's a little more cleaner looking moving forward. So we're going to move a few things around, and we're going to reference back to the Sell That app that I went over before. So if we do Command D and we go to Expo Home, our projects is where our current project is. You can see Instagram on Tim's MacBook Pro. But if you signed up on Expo in your command line and in the app itself, you can see any projects that you've done in the past that you've done Expo Publish for. So this allows you to share apps with other people just by getting the Expo app and without having to go through the whole app review process. It's really great for testing with other people. And so I have a couple apps here, client or personal. But the one that's most like all this code is based on is Sell That. So Sell That is the app that I built. I just finished it last week. I built the whole Instagram UI, and I made a lot of changes along the way. So my approach was I built it in my personal time without recording it, changed things around there, went back and forth on the best approaches, best practices moving forward that I could teach you guys. And so that now I'm kind of rebuilding it this time with that experience and kind of teaching you like what I learned along the way, what kind of I changed around with going for the same look of Instagram. So you can see that if you saw the previous video, this is the Sell That app that I created. It has all the same functionality as Instagram, but it's all using React Native and Firebase. So you can like a photo, unlike a photo. You'll get notifications if this is your photo that I liked it. You can see the location of said photo with maps. You could also use the camera feature. Right now it won't work in the emulator since there's no camera. So I wonder if no, that won't work. So in the emulator it won't work, but if you have the Expo app, you could test it that way. So that's why using the Expo app for development is super helpful as well, like using the location, using the camera or the photo upload. It's awesome to test it right away and get feedback right away, whereas you wouldn't get that with a native app. You could do comments and see comments on different photos. You can see this one has one comment. And then you can make an offer. So I changed it so that you could make an offer, like selling goods to people in your neighborhood type of thing, and find people close to you. So you can make an offer on that item. And then you could also search. So you can search for people, and that'll be everyone on the database with the name Tim. You do a photo upload. You have an activity feed of Tim liked your post, aka me. Someone commented on the post, someone made an offer, someone started following you. This would be all in the activity feed. And then, of course, the profile of all the photos you've posted. And here, right now, this is my profile, so I can see like my followers and who's following me. I can edit my profile. And then if someone comes to see my profile, they can, so if I see someone else's, which is just me, different accounts, I can follow and unfollow that person. And so basically all these different pages we're going to treat as different components. And within each of those pages, there might be smaller components depending on if we're reusing them or not. So if you're ever reusing something, chances are it should be its own component that you could reuse it through other sections. And it just makes it for a cleaner, more streamlined coding process. And if you need to change anything, it's a lot faster and quicker. And so we're going to start off with a couple main components. So we're going to make a home component, a search component, an upload component, an activity component, and a profile component. There's going to be a lot more than that, but that's how we're going to start. And to start, we're going to just create a folder called, make sure we're in the right folder. Yep, we're in Instagram, and we're going to make directory screens. So in the previous web application, the React Create app, named it SRC for source. I like to name it screens in the app because I think it's more clear that like the home, if you do home.js, I think it's pretty clear what it's referring to in the application itself. So that goes back to making your components clear and everything that you create clearly named. While I made the app the first time, I kind of renamed a lot of things a bunch of times to make it clear to you guys what I was referring to. So that was one thing that I would make sure you get right the first time, get a high-level review of what you want to build and what that entails, and then the naming convention around that before you even get started. You could always change it down the road, but it's certainly easier right now. So we're going to name a couple files for this main bar at the bottom. And these are going to be the beginning of our, oh crap, I didn't see the end of screens. Okay, we're going to fix that real quick. So just move these things that I just created in our screens folder. And now everything's in our screens folder. So these are just empty files for right now. And we're going to move everything out of this app.js file because we're going to add a few more things for React Navigation and Redux that needs to be at the core of the app. And this is the first file that gets read. So we want this to be very minimal. All our functionality we want to be in the specific screen that correlates to that functionality. So we're going to copy this right now, and we're going to put it in home. So we're just going to name this home. And in here, we're going to remove all this stuff.